Many Gen Z situational queer individuals also get very confused when their heterosexual side is triggered for the first time. This is due to the fact that nearly all the men in their dating world are nice guys who gross them out and scare the crap out of them, yet Western culture continues to push these men upon them. It has been observed that Gen Z girls who had experience with heterosexual attraction to bad boy types earlier in life usually identify as bisexual. Those who had no such experience usually identify as lesbian. Among previous generations, most girls who were capable of becoming situational queer identified as straight. This is because bad boys were the absolute majority on the dating scene. Their limbic systems never needed to activate a secondary source or use women as a substitution. The continued pushing of nice guys onto women also contributes to many Gen Z girls becoming situational queer. Being a lesbian gives them a perfect excuse to avoid dating a nice guy. Therefore, it provides them with an excuse to reject the social and cultural pressure to be a nice guy's girlfriend, and gives them the perfect excuse to keep putting nice guys in the friend zone, without society condemning them. Especially considering Western culture condemns women for putting nice guys in the friend zone, even if she is not choosing bad boys over them. What we also see within Western culture is that they project what women feel about nice guys onto bad boys, and what they usually feel about bad boys onto nice guys. In other words, they are telling women how they should think and feel. One of the best examples is the Big Bang Theory, using the comparison between Howard and Leonard. Within the sitcom, they continue to demonize the three main bad boys in Penny's life, Kurt, Howard, and Zach, while trying to glorify Leonard in contrast. Kurt is represented as toxic masculinity. Howard is represented as predatory, gross, and sleazy. Zach is represented as stupid. Based on that, it is argued that these three men are not worthy of a woman. On the other hand, Leonard is represented as the ideal choice. But let's look at the reality. Firstly, compare Leonard and Howard. Despite their continued push for the narrative that Howard is predatory and gross, it is Leonard who is truly the gross and predatory one. Leonard has no real love for Penny. He is just hoping to possess her for the bragging rights of saying he got the hot girl who was out of his league in high school, and he is extremely obsessed with her. On the other hand, the whole argument in favor of the idea that he is predatory is that he makes a few flirty jokes when Penny joins the guys for dinner. But we see no evidence suggesting it is motivated by a predatory ulterior motive. If anything, it suggests that Howard is just horny, and the flirting is more about the art of seduction. In addition, let's compare how Leonard versus Howard handles rejection. Leonard is the one who continues to use force, threats, and gaslighting to pressure Penny into doing things she is not comfortable with. Howard never does such a thing. Every time Penny shoots him down, Howard takes it like a trooper and tries again the next time. Leonard gets angry, violent, and dangerous when Penny rejects him and when she shows interest in other men. For example, Leonard once broke into Penny's home, angry at her for dating another scientist at the university instead of him. Howard never did such a thing. In fact, Howard is the only guy in the group who never seeks Penny out, with the exception of once in an online game or to ask about Bernadette. He just flirts with Penny a bit whenever she joins the guys for dinner, or when Leonard drags the guys to the Cheesecake Factory. Leonard, on the other hand, won't leave Penny alone. This also shows you one thing. Woke feminists' ideas of what constitutes treating women with respect do not care about women's autonomy. Hence the saying, she is an idiot for not knowing how lucky she is to have a nice guy willing to give her a wedding ring, while she is still demeaning herself for the pleasure of men by running around with the bad boys and putting the nice guys in the friend zone. Despite the fact that in the real world, when women refer to a guy as creepy, it is usually regarding a guy who does not respect women's autonomy. They push for the idea that Howard is the creepy one because he makes a few flirty jokes, even though Howard is the one who respects Penny's autonomy. The big difference is that Howard doesn't put Penny on a pedestal or worship the very ground she walks upon. and he often acts in contradiction to that principle in how he treats her. As a result, what constitutes creepy or gross, and whether a man treats women with respect within the Big Bang Theory, isn't based on whether he respects women's autonomy. It is about whether he puts women on a pedestal and worships the very ground they walk upon. The show's argument is that women don't need protection from men who disrespect their autonomy, use force, make threats, or gaslight them when they say no, or who become angry, violent, or dangerous. What they need protection from, it suggests, is behavior that violates the principle of putting her on a pedestal and worshiping the very ground she walks upon. Instead, they victim blame women for not accepting nice guys who disrespect their autonomy by saying she is an idiot for not knowing how lucky she is to have a nice guy willing to give her a wedding ring. And if she holds no issues against men who act in contradiction to the principle of putting women on a pedestal, they say she is demeaning herself for the pleasure of men and has internalized misogyny. The most interesting thing about the Howard and Penny dynamic is that for a girl claiming to find Howard creepy and gross, Penny is shockingly comfortable around him. This is not how people normally act around those they actually find to be creepy and gross. Sexual attraction is like playing a game of catch. If you like somebody, you throw the ball, and that person catches it and throws it back. If you merely don't mind somebody, you throw the ball. That person catches it, but doesn't throw it back. If you find that person gross, you will jump aside as if the ball fell into a pile of dog shit. As for finding somebody creepy, that is about feeling a sense of threat, which also triggers avoidance. For example, I once met a girl I liked a lot, but she became very intense and sent me over 100 Telegram invites within a month. I felt that was a red flag and started to keep my distance. I didn't talk to her again until 2 years later, when I realized I had probably overreacted back then. So, if Penny truly found Howard to be creepy or gross, it should trigger avoidance. Therefore, the idea that Penny finds Howard creepy and gross is looking at things from the nice guy's subjective perspective, not an objective one. It is less about how the girl actually feels, and more about how nice guys feel she should feel. Nice guys often jump between complaining that girls only choose jerks who treat them like crap because the jerk isn't putting her on a pedestal, and insisting on the idea that the girl finds the bad boy to be gross and creepy, which is what the nice guy believes she should feel. If the nice guy were to accept that the girl does not find the bad boy gross or creepy, he would instead ask why girls prefer jerks who treat them like crap. This also shows us a very important thing. In an objective representation of the Penny and Howard dynamic, not only does Penny not find Howard to be creepy or gross, but it suggests that she likely likes Howard and feels safe around him. Girls only act this way when they both like a guy and feel safe around him. On the other hand, we never see this back and forth dynamic between Leonard and Penny. It is a situation where Leonard throws the ball and Penny catches it but does not throw it back. In addition, Penny is always trying to keep her distance from Leonard. This suggests a girl who finds Leonard to be either gross or creepy. We also see this nice guy mentality in other pro-nice guy productions. One of the best examples is the original novel Dracula. What we see in Dracula is very similar to what we see in The Big Bang Theory. Dracula parallels Howard, while characters like Jonathan Harker, Arthur, and Van Helsing parallel Leonard. Similar to the treatment of Howard in The Big Bang Theory, they push for the idea that Dracula is gross and creepy. Similar to the way The Big Bang Theory polices how Penny should think and feel, insinuating that if she acts in contradiction to those expectations, there must be something wrong with her, the novel polices Mina and Lucy. While Penny acts in a manner approved by nice guys, Mina and Lucy often act in contradiction to those ideals. As a result, the narrative argues that Mina and Lucy must be manipulated by Dracula. Instead of being willing to acknowledge that they might be attracted to Dracula's bad boy charm, the story pushes the narrative that Dracula used his power to manipulate them and that the women are in need of protection from his influence. This also fails to respect women's autonomy. For example, when Lucy chooses Dracula over Arthur, the nice guys kill her, claiming it is a mercy kill.
Heaven shatters, moonlight calls. Golden crowns begin to fall. Eyes like fire, hearts in chains. Whispers lure through bloodied veins. Fallen goddesses, divine no more. Temptation knocks upon your door. Silver moonlight stains your skin. A battle lost, you cannot win. Fallen goddesses, seduced by Dracula, your holy fire burns into his dark embrace. He steals your soul, leaves your heart in rapture. All that sacred breaks without a trace. Silken whispers, breath of death. Your lips betray with every step. Crown of power crumbles fast. In his arms eternity is cast. Beauty broken yet complete. Pleasure mingled with defeat. A queen of night now bound in red. All your vows have turned to dread. Fallen goddesses, seduced by Dracula, your holy fire burns into his dark embrace. He steals your soul, leaves your heart in rapture. All that sacred night without a trace. Crimson rivers, silver lights, heaven shatters in your eyes. Fallen angels kiss the dark, the night consumes your sacred spine. Fallen goddesses, seduced by Dracula, your holy fire burns into his dark embrace. He steals your soul, leaves your heart in rapture. All that sacred breaks. All that sacred phrase.
Fuck me, Dracula. Fuck me hard. I cheat on Arthur Holmwood with you every night, in your bed or mine. You make me feel like a woman again. You fulfill me in a way that Arthur Holmwood never can. Make me feel like a woman again. I am only engaged to Homewood because that is the right thing to do. The thought of his touch make me throw up every night. So, fuck me Dracula, fuck me again. Let me forget I am Homewood's fiancé during the night. Homewood and Van Helsing think you are the disease making me sick. But, Homewood is my disease. You are my cure. Fuck me.
You are not obligated to marry anybody you don't want to, my darling. There is no such thing called that is the right thing to do. Come and join me in forever. Not what others tell you is the right thing to do.